guys, Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music slum where great things happen. Man, today I got a great lesson I'm excited to show you guys and talk about a little bit. So we're gonna get a little funky with our guitar playing. So I love funk music, man. I've been a huge fan for years since I was a kid, you know, in the 70s, listening to the Ohio Players and P-Funk and Parliament. And then I got heavily into the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I got, you know, the early stuff, the really funky stuff. And so here's the story. I'm gonna talk for just a minute. So I got into the Red Hot Chili Peppers heavily. And you know, when you get into a band, you start researching, like, what are they into? And I learned, okay, well, George Clinton produced one of their albums, Freaky Style, and then I started researching George Clinton and James Brown, all this stuff. So, man, I went at it hard. I was, you know, kind of a young rock and roll dude with the long hair, and I was really into the hard rock. And I just wanted to get better at funk, so I went to the public library back then and got these cassettes. And I'll never forget, I came home every day, I put these cassettes in, and I would play to this James Brown live thing, this live album. And one of the songs in particular was called Make It Funky, which I'm going to show you here a little bit of that jam. Or Ain't It Funky Now, sorry. And so I every day for a year I would come home and just play this and just freaked out on the guitar player because it was I didn't know who it was. It was so good. I got a point here, I'm going to get to it in a second. It was like some of the best rhythm playing, if not the best rhythm playing I've ever heard in my life, still to this day. So fast forward years later, I get in this band, and it's a local funk band here in Cincinnati. We were called Freak Bass, and we were touring all around and did albums, and the local connection was Catfish Collins, who lives in Cincinnati, and he produced our albums and worked with us, and we jammed with him on stage. It was surreal. It was awesome. You know, here's this larger-than-life guy that I was following since I was a kid, and you're jamming with him and producing anyway. So he hired us to play his Millennium Party, 1999, the 2YK going into the year 2000 party, and I was freaking out. I'm like, this is crazy. And I learned that Catfish, his brother, was going to be there. And then I learned that Catfish was the one that played all these guitar parts that I had freaking lost my mind on for years. So I'm nervous, and we're doing sound check, and I'm excited, you know. And so we're doing sound check, and who walks in but Catfish Collins? And I'm just freaking, you know. It was like, could have been Eddie Van Halen for me. It was that big of an influence. And we get done with sound check, and I see Catfish over there grooving, blah, blah, blah. And we stop, and he goes, man, I don't know who that guitar player is, but he sure is funky. Now, that's a true story. Maybe he was just doing it to make me feel better, I don't know. But I literally said, I can die right now, and I'm at peace. And I mean that to this day. And got to be friends with him, and hung out a few times, and, you know, he died several years ago, but what a beautiful human being, and just literally, I'm going to put another link to his live version when they did this with James Brown in 1971 in Paris. And I challenge you to find a better rhythm guitar part. You know, it's literally one of the top rhythm performances I've ever heard in my life. So I've talked for 3 minutes here. Let me shut up. Let's talk about how to get funky. So, you know, a lot of it's just the feel. You know, it's hard to teach somebody to do that. And for me, I had to lock myself in a basement for a year and just really just listen to it. But knowing the chords and some of the patterns and strategies behind it can help you out. So the first thing I want to talk about is this little one-note pattern in the song. So, and again, this version is a little slower than the live version, but check it out. This is just a backing track. And again, I'll include this too. So it's the one note thing, right? It's just a single note thing. And by the way, we're in the key of F. You know, we're playing this F9 shape, which I'm going to show you in a second. But he's playing like these, you know. Right? Kind of that, just a cool sound. So he's playing this, just this little 4-note pattern. Right? And what's going on here? It's the notes you don't play. It's these. Okay, so it's really tricky because you have to really focus on the one string. I'm playing the D string. I'm playing the G sharp note here. And I'm kind of pivoting to the F note, to the root. So. There's always an A and B line in funk, so you play one thing and then slightly vary it the other time. And the second line goes. Right? And there's a lot of variations, and I'm kind of simplifying a little bit, but that's what you want to start with. So like over this track, just start with even one note. Check it out. So if you just go. Right? So that's, step one, just kind of get like that. Now you can do a little more intricate stuff, like, check this out, like more with your right hand, like, now that's hard too because I'm hitting just the one note, right? But I'm hitting all 6 strings to get that percussive sound. So again, if you're not used to this stuff, it's real tricky first. So I would just start with trying to get the sound. Okay, so what's going on here? You want to just start with like listening to the drums. That's first and foremost, just hearing the drum beat, the bass and drums. And really work at that percussive sound where you're muting strings. It's almost like a train, like a 2-string. Right, it's the engine in it. So check it out, even if you do that, that's a great little exercise. So that's step one, just kind of getting the groove going and just feeling where the pulse is. Okay, now the chords, in this particular song too, and I think the original, I think the guitar's going like a continuous strum here, where that other part's going. And that's another thing about funk music, like, there's everybody's working together, and what might seem like a simple thing is actually hard, and it fits its place, and there's a role in funk because everybody's doing something different, and it all works together in a team to make it just have this really cool, unique sound. And you don't want to step on anybody's toes. Now this is, again, pretty busy. Sometimes these songs will be really laid back and in the pocket, and not much going on at all. But again, it's where it fits. So I want to talk about something very interesting here. These chords. Okay, so let's start with an F7 and an F9 shape. So you can always play 7ths and 9s, mostly 9ths in funk. 7ths are very bluesy. They're all interchangeable, but look, here's an F7, 8, 7, right? Then you can add that. Now what you're really hearing is, now I see guys and girls play like this, but I learned a long time ago that I just take my fingers and I smash them down. Look at this. I'm just doing. Because then you got that pinky free to do that, James Brown style rhythm. So that's the way I do it. I just lay everything flat. People say, well, you're not really hearing that major third in there. Well, I guess you're not, are you? But you're still hearing the, and sometimes you can play the raised 9, the Hendrix chord. You gotta be careful, that can clash, but sometimes that's a cool. But for this case, we just want to stick to the 9th chord. Now, another way to play it is to leave out the root down here, right? The F, and just go like this. So I'm barring across 8, 7 with my first finger. Okay, that's another great version of that. So now I've got my pinky free to play those extensions. So that's a great sound. So let me demonstrate that over this. I'll play a little bit of that chord shape. Watch this, I'll go. Now this is just a backing track. I'm not playing with the guitars and verbatim, but I'm just playing like a little groove. So that's the thing. You just want to find a little pocket and kind of just stay in there. And anybody thinks it's easy, try doing it, because it's hard to do it for 3, 4, 5, 14 minutes depending on the jam, and just stay there and not get too crazy with it. So now what's really interesting about this is you can also look at this chord. And you could almost consider this actually a C minor, because look, there's a C minor triad. So you're sharing that, the same notes, right, up there. So you can kind of, you hear the similarities over that, right? So sometimes I'll just approach it like a C minor. I'll go. That a minor 9. Now I really like this because it's real convenient. You got this first finger bar here. You slide around, and you add your extension up top. And to me, that's one of the funkiest chords, just by doing that. That minor 9. Let's check that out. So if I go. So, and you can move that stuff, like kind of goofy stuff, half step, chromatic, create a little tension for a second. So, it's all in the right hand with this stuff. Typically the left hand doesn't go on anything crazy with this kind of funky stuff. Now, not to say it doesn't, but like this stuff is just real, that's right in the pocket. So again, start with just the pulse. And then, you don't want to just keep that, that choo-choo train. Get a metronome, get a drum backing track, use this backing track. But that's step one to mastering this stuff, or learning it, at least, is like just getting the rhythm down. And then take that same thing I was just showing you with the right hand, right? And then do the, like the single note. Right, there's all kinds of things you can do. Start off real slow. I'll hit the note, I'll go. Right? There's a lot going on here. You're striking a note down, you're muting the strings, you're doing enough strokes. There's a lot going on, that you don't want to think about. It has to be second nature. So, ramble on a little bit in this video, but I hope this helps you guys get started in the right direction, playing some funky guitar stuff. This is something I love to talk about. It's a fun topic. And I'll definitely be doing more of these videos on this subject for sure. So thank you guys for watching. We're building an awesome little guitar community all across the world right here on the Music Salon channel. Please, please, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. It helps me immensely. And we'll see you guys next time.